Hi, my friends. Leo Babauta from Zen Habits here. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a hidden experience of life that actually blocks us and stresses us out and causes us to be frustrated and resentful and angry and feeling just like overwhelmed by life. And that experience of life, I'm going to call it two different things. It's out of control and helpless. It's the same experience, but I'm describing it in two different ways. I feel out of control and I feel helpless. You can see that they're related, right? If I'm out of control, I can't help myself. I'm helpless. I can't do something about this feeling of being out of control. So this feeling is an underlying experience of our lives that we have a lot, more than you realize, most likely, unless you're deep into mindfulness and have been practicing with this for years and years and years. We don't realize how often we have it, and it causes us to feel overwhelmed, to feel anxious, to feel frustrated, to feel angry, to feel overburdened by life. Like I have to do all this stuff that I don't want to be doing, and I'm constantly dealing with all of these problems. This is what we are facing, and the underlying thing that's causing them and causing a lot of our stress is that I feel out of control or I feel helpless. So I'm going to explain this, like how this is a hidden thing causing all of this. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain why this is the root of most people's stress. And then I'm going to talk about how to actually practice with it so that this does not have to be the same kind of stress that you're already experiencing. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's imagine you're, having to deal with some like financial issues, right? You're dealing with the bank and this credit card over here and this taxes over here. So you're dealing with all of these things and it's really like frustrating you and stressing you out. So you think, oh, I have to deal with, Bank of America, screw them. And I have to deal with, Vanguard over here with my investments and this Chase credit card and this, these taxes for my tax person and, all of this stuff. The IRS, pulling all my non-existent hair out. And so we think the first thing to notice is that we think that the problem is those things, the bank and the credit card and the taxes and IRS and so forth, right? All of those things are the problem that's stressing us out. If they didn't act that way, if they weren't like that, then I wouldn't be stressed, right? But actually, those things are not causing anything in us. They are just the external situation that we then have a feeling about, and then we turn into, it shouldn't be this way. I need to like get out of this, or why does it have to be this way? And it sucks. So let's just take one, the bank issue, right? So there's this bank thing and it's like this and it's causing my problems and I'm super stressed and it's because if the bank thing were solved, I wouldn't feel stressed, right? So it's the bank. But actually, the bank situation is just an external situation. It's just something that's happening. But I feel out of control and helpless about that. I can't fix it. It's not something that I can just, simply fix. I have to deal with this person and hope that this is going to work out, and I don't know how it's going to go. And it's frustrating because I want to be going over and dealing with this other stuff. And so I'm frustrated and I'm stressed and I'm feeling helpless and out of control. So the problem isn't the situation, it's that it causes me to feel helpless and out of control. And I don't like that, of course. Who likes to feel helpless and out of control? And so I need to like solve it, but I can't solve it, which makes me feel more helpless, more frustrated, more overwhelmed, more burdened because I want to go be like playing outside right now, not doing this stupid thing. So I feel frustrated and overburdened, and that's why I'm feeling that way. It's not because of the situation, it's because I can't control it, and I feel helpless. It's the same if I'm dealing with a person. This person, maybe it's my spouse, maybe it's my kid, maybe it's my mom, maybe it's my boss, my coworker, my client, whoever it is, I can't control them. They're acting in a way that I can't control. That makes me feel out of control. It makes me feel helpless. I don't like that. I need to solve it, but I can't because I can't control them. It makes me feel more helpless than I control. I feel frustrated. I feel stressed. I feel overwhelmed. Now multiply that by everything you're dealing with. All of your emails, all of your messages, all of your tasks, all of your projects, all of your chores, all of your errands, all of the people you have relationships with, the world and the news, like all of that stuff is not under your control. And it's going to make you feel out of control and helpless. You want to fix it so that you don't have to feel that. You can't. Makes you feel more out of control and helpless. Makes you feel frustrated. Now you feel overwhelmed. You feel burdened. All of that stems from a very simple feeling that I can't control this. So I feel out of control and I feel helpless. No one likes to feel that way. And so what we try and do is we have a set of reactions to that. And it's going to be different for different people. But your set of reactions is going to determine how your life goes. And it's all because you don't want to feel helpless and out of control. And so you have a set of things that you do to deal with that. I'm going to list some of those. But they're all ways of trying to fix this inner experience that I don't want to have. So one would be complain. You know, if you're a complainer, you're going to complain a lot. This sucks. I don't like it. This, shouldn't be this way. The bank this, the IRS that, my spouse this, my kids that. I'm going to complain, maybe inwardly, just like, I don't like this. And so I'm frustrated. I'm going to complain. Or I complain outwardly to someone else, maybe a third party, maybe to the person, and I'm just blaming and complaining and you suck and all of that. So sometimes it's like very anger-based, blame-based at the person, but a lot of times it's talking about that person to someone else. Those are two related strategies, but different. You might be doing both or one of those. That gives you a sense of control, even though there's a helplessness to it. You're just complaining and complaining. You're not doing anything about it. It gives you a sense of control because complaining feels like I'm controlling it. Now, it doesn't actually give you control. The situation's still the same. In fact, you're probably making it worse through the complaining. But that's the hope, is that by complaining, I'm creating a sense of control. We don't know that we're trying to get control, but that is actually what we're trying to do. If I can get control, I won't feel helpless and out of control. Other people like to take action. I'm going to go take action. I'm going to go fix this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to do this. And to some extent, that does give you a sense of control, and it actually can solve some of the problems. And so we're like, I did these things and it solved the problems. Great. Action is the way to go. And so we go and take action. But as I mentioned, you have thousands of things that you feel out of control about. And so you can take action on the first 10, 20, 30. But after that, guess what happens? You are going to get overwhelmed because you can't take action on everything at once. You want to, because that's how you deal with this feeling. You can't. So you'll feel overwhelmed. Or you're just going to keep going, churning, action until you run yourself into the ground. And in that scenario, you're going to be working forever, like, late into the night. So this is where burnout comes in, overwork, this kind of compulsive kind of work. If you're working past midnight on things or close to midnight, you're probably in this action-based. I get control through action. I deal with my feeling of out of control through action. Others go and hide under the covers. I'm going to go hide, avoid, go watch YouTube, Netflix, eat food, do whatever I do to hide. Maybe I drink, maybe I play video games, maybe I take drugs, maybe I smoke, maybe I get on my phone and go through social media. These are hiding, avoiding kinds of actions, so I don't have to deal with this feeling of being out of control. As you can imagine, it doesn't actually deal with the feeling. It actually makes it worse. So that doesn't work either. Now, there's a number of other things that we can do. We can be very controlling. We can be perfectionist. We can try and control others. You know, if you know anyone who's always trying to control you, and they have like a controlling personality, that is simply a strategy to deal with this, which is, I feel out of control. I feel helpless. As you can imagine, it's not a fun person to be with. But if that's their strategy, it's going to have some backfiring things. They can't literally control everybody or everything around them. And so our really stressful, tight, controlling kind of attitude, I'm going to be really angry a lot. It's going to alienate others. It's going to make others feel controlled, not accepted as they are, and so forth. So it hurts everyone around you and makes you angry and stressed and frustrated. So there isn't, I've listed some really common strategies. You might have some that I haven't mentioned. There isn't a strategy that actually effectively deals with this feeling. There's others. Stoic philosophy is actually designed almost entirely to deal with this. There's, this is what I can control and this is what I can't. And to some extent, it actually does work. I let go of control of stuff that I can't control, and I focus just on what I can, which is simply like my attention and my reaction. It's all you can really control. You can't actually control your reaction, but you can control like your perspective that controls your reaction. So it's my perspective, my attention. So in the Stoic approach, we actually recognize that this feeling of out of control is because I'm trying to control something that I can't control. Other people's reactions, the world, how the situation is going. And to some degree, it actually does help. There's a limit to it though, because you don't 100% control your own attention and your own perspective. We are human beings, we're not robots. And so the problem with that is that you can only exert limited control over how you are actually seeing things. And so there's always going to be places where you're falling short of this Stoic ideal. And we read the Stoic philosophers and we only read the parts where they were telling us what to do, and we don't see is the parts where they're constantly failing at it. Marcus Aurelius's meditations were actually reminders to himself because he kept failing at this philosophy. I'm reading into it obviously, but that's my understanding of human behavior is he would have had to be failing a lot, and he was reminding himself a lot. Really cool, I think, but just points to the limits that we can't fully control our brains. Okay, so what do we do about this? Well, there's a Zen approach, and then there's another related approach that I'm going to talk about. The Zen approach is kind of similar to the Stoic philosophy, actually. It's realizing that we are in a delusion, that I think, this is, that I am separate from you. I'm separate from all of this. And because of this delusion of separateness, like I am Leo, I'm not the same as this person over here, and those people and the world around me. I have to protect myself, and I have to control things so that I don't have to feel, inadequate or whatever it is that I don't want to feel in my separateness. It's a, pretty deep philosophical view, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the problem with the Zen approach, it isn't a bad approach. I'm not faulting Stoicism or the Zen approach. The problem is we are human and we will often forget. So the practice for all of this stuff is just to keep reminding ourselves, keep practicing. I'm going to share another approach that's related to all of this. And that approach is that helplessness and out of control is actually not a problem. The problem is that we think it's a problem. Feeling helpless, feeling out of control is a part of the experience of life. If you are human, you are going to feel those. Just like if you're a human, you're going to feel sad. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel bored. You're going to feel angry. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel grief. You're going to feel, powerless. And so helplessness and out of control are two human experiences that we do not want to feel. And we're constantly trying to solve those feelings as if they needed to be solved. But what if they didn't? What if they were an experience like the wind blowing or the sunlight dappling on leaves, clouds passing, sun rising, sun setting, birds, making their noises and flying and soaring through the air. These are just experiences of life that we can actually hold with curiosity, gratitude, wonder, awe. These are, all the experiences of life are things that we can behold in these ways, including helplessness, including out of control. Out of control is just like, whoa, what if I could just enjoy the roller coaster ride of I don't know how this is going to turn out. What if I could just kind of find the wee in this out of controlness? What if I could learn to love myself in the midst of my helplessness? This is the practice. If we recognize that the thing I'm stressed about and frustrated about is not the content of the problem, the external situation, but actually how I'm feeling about the situation or the other person. I'm feeling helpless and out of control. And then just learn to feel that feeling in our bodies and then learn to be with it as if it were a beautiful sensation to experience, the drinking of hot tea or taking a warm bath or floating in the Pacific Ocean. One of the warm parts near my home island of Guam, for example, which just feels like you are at one with the universe. Feeling helpless doesn't feel like that ocean, but it is an oceanic experience. We can just feel as if we are one with everything, helpless, out of control, and surrendered to being a part of the ocean. That's what I've got for you today. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Let me know if you have additional questions. If you disagree, comment. I would love to hear from you. If you have additional suggestions that you'd like, put that in the comments as well. I appreciate and respond to every single comment. Even if it's just with an emoji, I respond to all of them. I appreciate all of them. They mean a lot to me when you react, when you interact with me. If you like this video, please like it with a thumbs up. Please subscribe because I would love to grow this channel so that others can find it and it can help more and more people. And then share it with anyone who could use some Zen habits in their lives. Thanks, my friends. I will talk to you later.